Good evening, race fans. Welcome to the Core Racing Network. Tonight, the 10th and final regular season round here for the CSRL GT Series, and that takes us to Sebring International, a beautiful track down here in Florida, and host the 12 Hours of Sebring, a very fun but technical race, certainly. And this thing, it almost feels like you're driving on concrete a lot of times here at Sebring, and it's built on an old runway here for a lot of the track, and it can get very bumpy, very rough, and luckily for these drivers, it's a bit too hazy out here. I don't think they're going to deal with the infamous sunset as much in regards to the sun, but obviously they'll have to deal with sunset the corner for sure, and that is a very tricky hairpin to final corner of the lap, and there's about 1,000 different ways to take it, but it only takes one wrong way to spin the car around, or maybe even bin it into the wall. But a lot to play on the line here tonight. Carl Handwork joined in the booth by Joe Sullivan. Joe, we've got one more race here in regards to individual points. Next week we got the team points finale, but man, it's gonna get interesting here tonight.
Yeah, it's a three-man race for the AM class, and I mean, we'll get to the points, but just 1 point separating them. So, I mean, a lot on the line for those guys. I mean, it's pretty much a winner take all. It looks like. So, man, just a good track to finish the season on. Like I said, everybody's gonna be pretty familiar with this one. I mean, heck, I'm even pretty familiar with this one. So. It's obviously not one of my better tracks, but I'm still learning it. I mean, there's so much you can learn here, and I'm sure every time you come back, there's something to learn and get better at. But like you said, definitely one of the more technical tracks that I've kind of gotten to get on the track and get some laps in. But really fun though. It's just my problem is the concrete. I can't get a good grip with concrete, even on oval. I'm terrible on concrete tracks on oval, so. It's something but it's a beautiful place and fun track.
Yeah, and certainly got some beautiful straightaways here, kind of to start and end the lap. But then after that, it is it's a lot of tight little chicanes you can take. Most of the curbs here. The toughest corner is probably going to be the one that is the hairpin, not the one in the bottom left of the track map here, but the one right above it. That is a very tight hairpin, and most of these guys will probably be all the way down to first gear to get through there. But that's not what we want to talk about. Sure, that the track is interesting. It's fun to talk about the track all the time, but we got something better to talk about, and that is the point standings coming in to tonight, and it's a doozy. Over in the pro class, I think all but mathematically locked up. Craig Jancic going to take the pro championship here again. We're going to bring him in here in a second, but you take a look at that AM class. Last race of the season, 9 races down, 1 race to go. 3 guys separated by 1 point. It doesn't get really any better than that. This is going to be epic. Jim Dutton, Nicholas Coate with a huge 1 point advantage over Anthony Jenkins coming in here tonight. We'll talk to them as well here in a minute, but this is going to be fun. Let's not waste any time here. We'll go ahead and bring in Craig Jancic here, and Craig, I think, all but wrapped up here. I guess maybe there may be some mathematical possibilities of someone, coming up here and getting here, but I would think that's pretty much out of the realm. So I guess let me be the first to congratulate you on another pro class championship this season.
Thank you so much. I do think it is mathematically impossible. Basically, one of my drop races is still a P5, which is just an unbelievable season that we've had here in the number 3. Thank you so much. It's been, as always, such a pleasure to not just be a part of such an amazing league, but such an amazing broadcast every week. And we're concluding here at the sunrise of one of my favorite circuits in the world, not just America, here at Sebring. And Audi R8 GT3 plus Sebring is one of my top combinations, and I'm really excited. No matter what happens here on track tonight, it's just going to be an absolute blast for me.
So, I mean, recap your season. Do you feel like, obviously you're always trying to get better. You're always looking for ways to improve, and you had a great season the season before, obviously picking up the championship, but this season it just seemed like your bad finishes got better. And you mentioned it, worst finish in regards to races that aren't even counting is a P5. So, I mean, where do you go from here? I mean, obviously the competition seems like it's getting better season after season, but it just seems like you're stepping up to the plate every time.
That's the idea, right? You want your surroundings to continue to push you to be better. You want to continue to, there's an expression that applies to a lot of things in life. Evolve or get left behind. And I don't want to get left behind. This is a hobby for me. It's a hobby for all of us here, obviously. But if you don't show up every week and give it 156,000%, it's my belief that you shouldn't show up. And that's what I'm going to keep doing. I'm going to keep giving it 156,000%. And it's an honor to be able to do it with some of the great people that we have here at CSRL. I think that there's things in the pipeline here, and hopefully, I think at the end of the race, I think we have a little bit of a post-season interview scheduled, where Jim Dutton, potentially Renan DeLima, and myself are gonna come in here and potentially spoil some good newses for future seasons here at CSRL. So watch this space, hang around for another hour or so, and you should have some good things going on there. But real quick, good luck to the AM class drivers tonight as well. They have such an amazing championship battle coming their way.
Nothing interesting over there. Nothing interesting at all.
Yeah, nothing at all.
Gonna be boring.
I'm sure you're saving the best for last for no good reason.
Exactly.
It's just going to be awesome. I can't wait to watch that unfold.
Well, it was fun watching you once again wrap up another pro class championship here for CSRL, and it's been a pleasure watching the other driving out here. It's been fun every race, and I'm sure you're going to try and go out there and cap it off with the Audi out here tonight and grabbing a win. So, congrats on the amazing season, Joe. Before we let Craig go, you got anything for him?
Just to possibly, he may have some competition next season.
Let's see. Let's look at the driver roster real quick. Is number 76 available
by
for
that,
anyone in particular?
By that, he just means there's going to be another lap car that you're going to have to work around in that M class. There's another rolling chicane out there for you.
Hey, look, on a serious note, that's a huge compliment. You guys made it no secret at the start of our tenure being on your broadcast that Joe, you came here with the intent to learn, with the intent to grow. And if you want to show up on this track even one time, that means that you learned and grew, and that's what this is all about, right? It's an awesome thing. I'm excited to share the track with you, just like I am on Tuesdays. And I do look quickly at the roster, and I see number 76 is not taken. So
not saying, I'm just saying.
How that is.
Yeah. It will be shortly.
Yeah, beautiful, man. We're looking forward to having it.
All right, buddy. Well, once again, congrats on the season. Who do you want to give a shout out to or thanks to before we let you go?
Yeah, huge thanks to TCSP, Martin PC, Studio 3, Digital Sim Sports, my supporters, the viewers of Core, you guys at Core, everybody that's out here on the track tonight, everybody watching, supporting me, Mom, Dad, and Sandiana. I think I got that spiel pretty good now. Chris, if you're watching too, shout out. And yeah, hopefully we'll have some good words post-race too.
All right, buddy. Well, we'll see if we can get you up here for an interview afterwards in your top three. But either way, we're going to talk to you after the race about next season. Thanks, and good luck out there.
Cheers.
That is your pro class champion this season, the three of Craig Jancic. Now we're going to go ahead and bring in the other drivers. And by those other drivers, I mean all three of these drivers that just have a little bit to run for here tonight. And first of all, welcome to the booth, Anthony Jenkins, Jim Dutton, and Nicholas Coate, the three men that are going to be doing some absolute battling out here tonight at Sebring, and with a title on the line, it's going to be fun to watch for sure. But I guess Anthony, we'll start with you. How do you make up this monumental gap to these top two guys in front of you?
Basically, I got to drive a perfect race tonight. I think I'm a point down. I'm pretty sure I can count on both of them to podium somewhere. So, I got to stick it on pole and win. So that's the goal.
So, I mean, kind of recap your season. Obviously, it started off as good as it can be, grabbing the wins early on, but then, kind of even out a little bit, and Mr. Jim Dutton just starts, pumping his chest here a little bit, getting some good finishes. Nicholas Cote throws in a few wins as well. So, you know, what looked like maybe a season that was going to be a great one for you right in the beginning, all of a sudden you had some competition.
Yeah, the way the schedule worked out, the first couple of tracks were ones that were strong for me, and then it seems like the middle of the season, with the exception of the Red Bull Ring, has all been tracks that I had to like buy the week of the race and learn. So, you know, maybe losing a little bit of ultimate pace there, but you know, Sebring, like I said, is if I had to pick a place to finish, it'd be Sebring. So I'll be able to give the best performance I can give. I'll be able to give here.
All right, Joe, you got anything for Anthony here?
Just one, I guess, one word. I mean, you said you're gonna just got kind of finished in front of him here tonight, but if you had to wrap up the night in one word, what's it gonna take?
Just consistency. Don't panic. Don't do anything stupid. Bring the car home in one piece, first and foremost, and you know, figure the rest out.
Yeah, just kind of control what you can control.
Yep.
I know qualifying starting, so we'll let you get to it out there and hop out on the track. Before we do, anybody you want to give a shout out to or thanks to?
Yeah, my wife for putting up with this. She's glaring at me as we speak.
All right, buddy. Well, good luck out there, and hopefully you put a little smile on her face, and you know, whether it's for the championship or whether the fact that the season's over, and she'll be smiling at that. But all right, buddy. Good luck out there, and maybe we'll talk to you after the race.
All right, thanks.
All right, so next one we'll talk to Joe. Why don't you go ahead and have a little chat with Nicholas Cote, currently tied for the points lead coming into tonight.
Now, it seems like everybody is, you know, pretty excited about this track. I think you are as well. I mean, everybody's pretty familiar with Sebring. How are you feeling tonight, and kind of assess your chances here tonight to get this championship?
Before I loaded into the session, I would say it's pretty good, but I got a good 6/10 down the gym, so it's going to be pretty hard to find. If I could ever just put together a lap, I'd be right there, but so far it just hasn't happened. So we'll see how it goes. Just trying to stay consistent.
Yeah, I was looking at the practice here. It looks like, you know, Jim's got quite a bit on you guys right now, but you know, we'll see what happens when the race starts. But I mean, is this a track that you like here? I mean, do you think you can find something, or is it just going to be, you know, race your race and whatever happens?
I think race pace wise, I could be right with them. It's just qualifying near them is going to be the problem. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. I mean, anything can happen.
And trying to, are you going to be kind of aggressive or patient here at the start? You know, when everything's, you know, everybody's up on each other and we get the start of this race going, is it going to be, you know, try to be patient or be aggressive and try to make moves if you need to?
Yeah, make moves if I need to. We got to get somewhat close to them. The first, I would think, lap or so. Everyone's just so tight in the AMN Pro field, so we'll see how it goes. I'm hoping that I put together a wire and get pole and don't have to worry about that, but we'll see.
We've had a good season. I mean, you guys have been kind of taking momentum, as you know. Like I said, Anthony had the first 2 wins of the season, and then you and Jim have kind of been back and forth with the wins here recently. And guys, all 3 of you have had, you know, the momentum as the season has gone on, and you and Jim seem to be kind of peaking here at the right time as well. So, I mean, just kind of congrats on the good season and everything, and we'll see how everything goes here tonight. And I guess we'll give you a second to give any shout outs that you have here.
Yeah, I'm gonna copy Anthony and shout out to my wife for putting up with this. She's been a trooper and letting me go drive virtual race cars every Wednesday night.
Yeah, they're the real MVPs letting us do this stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, well, good luck out there, and maybe we'll talk to you after the race.
Thanks, guys. Enjoy it.
Was Nicholas Cote, driver of the number 17. Last but not least is the other one he is tied with, and that is none other than Mr. Jim Dutton. I mean, he talked about halfway through the season about getting rid of that mister, and we said, nope, you're driving too well, and well, you come into this final now tied on points. A little bit of a rough patch last week at Fuji, finishing, you know, last of the 3 you guys in regards to the points last week, so you lose that points lead that you had. You come into Sebring, and Sebring is a track that a lot of people have familiarity with. how is that going to play when it comes to you three? I mean, obviously we've seen you're pretty good in practice here, but when you have so many guys that are that even on pace, I mean, it's got to ramp up the pressure a little bit more.
Yeah, it absolutely does. I'm excited to see, how it starts, how it goes. Personally, I just need to get into a rhythm because I haven't been able to find that with any car just yet. So the track is a lot faster today than it was yesterday in practice, which is nice. And I was able to put down a monster time in practice. Hopefully, I can replicate that in quali and get out there, do some consistent laps, and make it happen. We'll see.
Well, we see you're out there in the Mustang. Nicholas Code out there in the Mustang as well. But your other competitor there, Anthony Jenkins, out there in the Porsche. I mean, do you feel like the Mustang is the right call for tonight, or was it just keep going with the old faithful and stay in that Mustang and ride her until she bucks, basically?
So I just, it felt, I tested a few cars. The Mustang felt the most stable to me between it and the Porsche. I would have put money on the Porsche being more stable, but no, this car's been good. So that's why I'm here in it.
All right, buddy. Well, I don't want to waste too much more of your time so you can get out there and qualify, but before we let you go, we do want to give a shout out to her thanks to.
You guys and everybody who comes in week in week out, and their wives for letting them do so. It's a pleasure to be able to put this on for everybody, and whatever happens, I hope everybody had a fun season. That's all I can say.
Yeah, it's certainly been a successful season, not just for you in the car, but certainly for the league as well. Some great numbers all season long. So, congrats on the in-car and out-of-car success this season. And one way or another, we'll talk to you after this race. Hopefully, it was with a championship, but if not, we'll be looking forward to the future for sure.
Sounds good. Look forward to it.
That is the driver of the 83, Jim Dutton. We'll let him get out there and get some qualifying in. While we got some time and these boys are out there qualifying, we'll take a look at some of the other point standings that we've seen so far this year. And we'll start with the one that's just kind of interesting that we like to look at, and that's the manufacturer standings coming into tonight for the final race. And you see for class wins, a three-way tie at the top. Ford coming in kind of late here in the season and really starting to be popular with some of the top drivers, and it's a three-way tie with McLaren, Ferrari, and Ford for class wins. You look over the podiums, Ford climbing up there a little bit, up to third for overall podiums, but McLaren and Porsche just dominating at the top, tied for most podiums with 16 over everybody else. And we'll take a look at the other one that is not going to be completed here tonight, and that is the team standings. Currently, Siviani Madrigal, Nicholas Code, and Team 16 lead the way by 12 points over GT369, which is Craig Jancic and Glenn Lazan. So, and you see right there in third, Team Bacon, Devin Young, and Jim Dutton. So, I mean, you got your Pro Class champion in the team that's in second. You got the two guys tied for the points lead in the M Class in first and third. Clearly, I mean, I'm not saying, Siviani, Glenn, and Devin are riding coattails here, but they're loving their teammates a little bit here so far, Joe.
Yeah, I mean, team me up with one of them guys, right? I mean, geez, if you can get a teammate that's going to be winning championships or got a shot at a championship here tonight. I mean, that's you want the Michael Jordans on your team, the guys like that, the Patrick Mahomes on your team. So you want those guys who are going to show up and put up some good numbers. So.
Well, certainly did that so far this year. I mean, we got tonight for Sebring, but again, the points championship for the team is not complete tonight. That is going to go until next week at Daytona, so we're going to keep it here in Florida, a little Florida swing to finish out the season, and we'll have Sebring tonight and Daytona for the last two races of the season for the team points. But
that's in 2 weeks.
Or two? Is it 2 weeks? Okay. Yep.
Yeah,
you're right.
Yeah.
Okay. So we will have that in 2 weeks, but that'll be again the team points finale for that one. So we'll see if everybody decides to show up there that last week, or if it's just the teams going out there and battling. But I mean, Joe, it's been a heck of a season, and I feel like we talk about it every season. It's fun. There's so many different storylines. It's Craig Jancic kind of dominating again up in the Pro Class, but I mean, we've had some close battles in the past in the AM class, never this close, and with 3 drivers coming to this finale.
No, it has been another unbelievable season. I mean, I'm just amazed that, week in and week out, season after season, that these guys, put on these great performances. I mean, just action all over the track. And then, even though Craig, had his, dominant season, it was not easy. I mean, he had guys, right there all season long. Colin, Chris, Siviani, Walker. These guys were breathing down his neck all season long, and Craig just did not blink. So, and kudos to him for doing that. And the AM class, unbelievable. To be able to come down to 1 point here at this last race of the season, and 3 guys have a chance at it, just unbelievable. The drama that's going to unfold here tonight over these 45 minutes or so of this race, and I cannot wait. And then the season's over, and then we're going to do the team events, which I think will be pretty unique and pretty cool to do that for these guys. So I'm excited, looking forward to that, but really looking forward to how this thing's going to play out here tonight.
Well, to give ourselves a little bit of extra time for the interviews after the race, going to give the sponsor reads here tonight, and a big shout out and a thanks to all the sponsors that have helped out this season. 40 Racewear, makers of the ultimate sim racing shoes and custom apparel designed for sim racing by sim racers. 40 sim racing shoes, custom engineered to connect racers to the pedals in a way no other shoe can, while still providing the comfort needed for those double and triple stints. Visit 40racewear.com and check out the latest sim racing products, including the original racing gloves for your feet. And also, now is the best time to check them out, as you can gear up for the winter racing season with huge savings on everything from 40 Racewear, as they have a Black Friday sale going on from now through December 1st. Rev up your race iRacing experience with Replica Racing. They create custom liveries that make your car stand out on the track. Whether you want sleek, bold, or retro designs, their talented team delivers eye-catching, high-performance graphics tailored just for you. Make your mark and race in style with Replica Racing, where your design dreams hit the fast lane. Let's envision the future together. TTR Racing, this father and son team consists of Todd Torville in the M class and Tyler Torville in the Pro class. Just 2 guys who are here for a good time with good people and good racing. Thank you to service members and veterans at TTR Racing, and of course Morgan PC. Thank you to all the sponsorships. Thanks to all the fans out there watching all season long. If you haven't done so yet, hit that like and subscribe and get you in touch with everything that CRN has to offer. But man, I can't thank these guys enough. We've been partnered with them for a few seasons now, and by the sounds of it, there's going to be another one on the horizon. We'll certainly talk to Jim and Renan and Greg and all the admins after the race here, and get some ideas on the future here of CSRL. But you look at the car numbers all season long. You look at the car numbers here for the finale here. 35 cars currently that are looking to race here tonight. It's fantastic, Joe. Yeah,
again, we talk about it, even, season 10, race 10 here, and they still got 35 cars. You've been in enough leagues, I've been in enough leagues and seasons, and the numbers always dwindle. But they don't dwindle here. They just keep growing as the season goes on. They had guys try to sign up, and they still have guys sign up today, and we're still trying to get in here. So, it's just, they just keep coming here. Because the racing's good. It's unbelievable, and it's going to come down to, a race here tonight to decide a championship, and it doesn't matter your skill level. There's battles everywhere. So, it's just amazing.
Yeah, to me, there's kind of three things you need for a good league. You need good racing, or even 4. Good people, good racing, a chance for any skill level to feel that they can compete, and obviously they have that here with the Pro and the AM class, and sometimes most importantly, little to no drama, and they really don't have any of that here. Is there some words exchanged here and there after some some heated races? Sure, but it's pretty much squashed right away. by the individuals involved in it, and it's nothing lingers. It's all, you know, you have a beer with the guys afterwards and shake it off and get back to racing next week, and that's the way a good league continues to grow, and certainly they have a really good formula here at CSRL. We are just about finished with qualifying. We got about a half a minute left on the timer, and then the extra time here for all those football hooligans out there to finish this thing out. If a car does not, if a car crosses the start-finish line before the checker flag comes out, they're allowed to finish that lap. So it's usually about 2 minutes or so, 2.5 minutes after the timer actually runs out that we get to some green flag racing here. But it's been fun, like I said, all season long, and make sure you tune in afterwards. As one thing that's kind of cool about the end of year in real life is a lot of leagues coming to an end and in the playoffs, and that's what we have with the Yes Car Truck Series, as they're going to have. I'm brain fart now. Is it race number 2 or race number 3 in the playoffs?
3
okay.
At Indy.
Yep. Yeah, race number 3 at Indy of their 4 races. So it's getting pretty good and pretty heated over there for sure, and definitely had some ups and downs over those first couple of races. Tuesday nights we have the Core Xfinity Series well into their playoff run as well, and been real fun over there. A couple different winners through the first 2 playoff races. So just a lot of good racing here on CRN. So if you haven't liked and subscribed yet, I don't know what you're waiting for. We're about to be done waiting for this race to get going green here, and we'll give you a rundown of all the qualifying results here. But I will tell you, it's kind of been interesting, and one of the men that we talked to in those pre-race interviews, Anthony Jenkins, has found that pace that he's been looking for.
Ooh, he has. Indeed, he has. This is going to be real interesting. Nicholas Coates still need to find just a little bit here.
And it looks like another thing that we do have too is we have the variety of cars out there as well. Currently 6 of the top 7 in different manufacturers. Only car that is duplicated in that top 7 is the Porsche, and it looks like just about all of them are represented, except for, it's like no Mercedes in the field here tonight, and I think I'm almost positive for the first time all season, no Ferraris.
Yeah,
so
I don't see a Ferrari.
To me, that's kind of interesting. I mean, you know, we showed you the manufacturer standings earlier, and yeah, Ferrari hasn't exactly been a bad car this season. So I'm really surprised to not see the Ferrari out there. I mean, it's got tied for the most wins on the season, and 5 class podiums. So I guess just not a good car fit for Sebring here.
No, it must not be, because I mean, even Nicholas Coates, he's been in a Ferrari most of the season, and has said multiple times that he's really comfortable in it, but choosing the Ford here tonight. So I think he's been in that before, so I don't think that's that's not new territory for him. But I'm sure he's gotten in plenty of practice. So with that car here, so we'll see how that transpires here tonight. But yeah, that's kind of surprising. No Ferrari.
So I guess what it comes down to is one final time. Who you got? We'll show you the qualifying results here in a second, but I mean, really what it comes down to is who you got in the AM Class Championship. I mean, who do you think's going to win here tonight? But who do you think's going to take home that AM Class title? Again, tied on points is Jim Dutton and Nicholas Coates, and only 1 point behind is Anthony Jenkins coming in here tonight. I don't think we've ever seen a battle in any of our series come down to 1 point between 3 drivers for the finale. But we are, as we said, done with qualifying. Let's go ahead and take a look at those qualifying results. First up is going to be the Pro Class. Greg Jancic with the pole, a 159.874. Colin Winslow only 0.08 of a second off him in second place. So shocker, Jancic and Winslow at the front again, and we'll see them doing some battles. And I'm sure Chris Hamilton, Andrew Walker, Ricky Renner, the rest of the top 5 will be right there as well. Skylar Vickroy, Frank Pisano, Steve Brown, Devin Young, AJ Roderick for your top 10. Rest of the Pro Class field is going to be John Nobinger, Tyler Torville, Jonathan Neal, Dan Herrera, Bryce Reiner, and Morgan Smith. Over in the M Class is going to be, looks like I actually missed one here, so I'll add him in here. It is going to be Anthony Jenkins. There we go. That's why. Anthony Jenkins on the pole here tonight, and you see he's picked up some speed in just 8 thousandths of a second ahead of Mr. Jim Dutton on qualifying. Third place is actually going to be Nathan Nickerson. We'll get him keyed up into here. Then you got Randy Ayers and Nicholas Coate rounding out your top 5. Brandon Potts, Jason Potts, Brandon Powell, Renan DeLima, and William Burrell for the top 10. Then you got Cesar Colon, Jim Herrick, Steve Santana, Stephen Price, Paul Bailey, Glenn Lazan, Ian Wilson, Todd Torville, and Jay Little rounding out your 35 car field here tonight for the finale, and that is quite a bit of cars for Sebring, and especially going through those first corners. I mean, turn 1 is, I don't want to say it's an easy corner. It's kind of a nice, slow flowing corner to the left, but with that barrier on the inside, it's a little bit blind going through there, and with cold tires, first lap, first turn, it can get a little bit sketchy, sliding out and going a little bit too hard and getting out there in the grass. And if somebody's out there in the grass, it's gonna get scary for sure.
Yeah, I mean, especially with 35 cars out here, I mean, you get somebody to, bounce off the wall, then you get a checkup or, whatever the case may be, and then they all funnel into, a hard braking zone. So this is going to be a lot of white knuckling going in, through this first couple of turns, and hoping these guys can all make it through, especially your top 3 in the AM class. I mean, you really, you just got to find a way through there, whatever it is, because you don't want your night to start off, lap 1, turn 1, and everything's just erased, and try to battle your way back at that point. I mean, it's going to be a lot of praying going on.
So obviously we talked about Anthony Jenkins and Jim Dutton. They're going to be starting right alongside each other, 9th and 10th overall. I think that's kind of where the importance is there's nobody in between them at all. There are no Pro Class cars in between them. You can't say the same though for Nicholas Coate, as he is going to be starting in 7th place in I'm sorry, 6th place in the AM class, but 17th overall. He's got 7 other cars in between him and the lead here for the AM class. So I mean, Joe, if you're Nicholas Coate, I mean, you don't want to wreck the car, you don't want to bin it on lap 1, but how aggressive do you got to be?
I think if he sees a window here early, he's got to take it, because he's got to kind of risk the biscuit here a little bit. And he was only 3/10 off from them in qualifying, but then you mix in the Pro Class, and then that shuffles him back 7-8 spots here. So just be as aggressive as you can without jeopardizing too much. And I think if he sees a hole or sees an opening, especially in these first couple turns, because you could gain so much in this first lap if you get through some of this stuff. If there's an accident, if somebody gets loose, or if there's an opening, you can make up a lot of ground. And if you can make it up, in this first lap, then you put your head down and just try to run them down at that point.
So I guess then we go up to the other 2 that are starting towards the front, Anthony Jenkins and Jim Dutton. If you're in their shoes, how do you handle this? I mean, do you go out there hard on those first couple laps and get yourself in front of your competitor, or are you more likely to just kind of fall in behind and kind of eyeball him and see if he's going to make a mistake?
No, I think immediately both of them want to be in front of the other person as fast as possible here, and then just put them in your rearview mirror and then just drive and then go. That way you kind of can control the race at that point, right? I mean, you can control the pit window, whether you want a short pit or whatever, and then you're being the aggressor. You're not reacting to the other person.
Well, we are ready to get to racing here. Craig Jancic Colin Winslow on the front row, and we are racing here at Sebring. Already making some big moves here, 2, 3, 4 wide, heading into turn number 1. And already an instant, Craig Jansen gets sent off. We'll take a look at what happened there in a second. Some more cars coming through here. Some major damage, and looks like a wheel gone there for Jansen. Another one right there. Looks to be possibly Brandon Powell. Yeah, Brandon Powell with some major damage here on lap number 1. Ooh. Battle for the lead coming down into the hairpin. And on the inside, it's going to be Colin Winslow taking the lead over Chris Hamilton. But that was some major wreckage, and some more right there, as looks like that is Jim Herrick. Hard impact under braking going into the hairpin. As the field makes it through, Fangio into Cunningham now, still side by side for the lead. But it is Colin Winslow that is gonna once again get the better of Chris Hamilton, Ricky Renner right there in third, Andrew Walker, Skylar Vickroy for your top 5.
I just realized I didn't have my camera pack loaded, so I didn't fully see what
where I'm
at. Yeah, I'm like, what are you? Okay, now I got you now. Wow.
Heading through and into Le Mans corner. And you see how just back and forth this track can be. And another one spinning off. That is Jim Dutton spinning off. We'll see if it's just a spinner, if he's got some damage here. Once we complete this lap, we'll take a recap and take a look through all the action that has happened here on lap number 1. But that is a huge championship implication. And oh, by the way, Nicholas Cote all the way up to 2nd overall in the AM class and ahead of Anthony Jenkins. What a start of the race. You called it, Joe. I mean, he had to get out there. He had to get after it. He certainly did. He's got himself in front right now of Anthony Jenkins.
The lap 1 of all lap 1s right there. He's got himself in front of both of his competitors here coming into tonight for this championship. And now he can do what I said either one of Anthony Jenkins or Jim Dutton can do. He can control the race now.
We'll take a look back and see everything that transpired here on lap number 1. And you see Jansen trying to swing it out wide, and the car just gets loose on him, snaps, and just snaps that rear axle right off. As you see, that car that is not happy. That left rear is not going anywhere. Hard impact there on lap number 1. Brandon Powell here getting together. Hard impact there for the 831. It's like Renan De Lima was the other one that was caught up in that action. Morgan Smith going off track as well. Here is the incident with Jim Herrick. And this thing looked absolutely violent. It's one of those situations where you really hope he doesn't have a direct drive. You see him get to the outside there, get in the grass, and then just shot straight into that wall. Hard impact. Morgan Smith involved there, coming back out onto the track. And then Mr. Jim Dutton here. See the car just a little bit upset, and then very upset. Luckily, we are at Sebring here, and there's plenty of runoffs from the old runways here. He's gonna get that thing back going. Lost a ton of time and ton of spots, but ultimately, that car is still clean. He's still got a chance to get back in this thing. Catching you back up here on lap number 2 here. This is Devin Young. Just getting forced off the track there a little bit with the 14 of Frank Bassano. Both of them with some major impact there. Certainly going to be rough in the team standings. But we'll get you back live. And you take a look right here. This is Nicholas Cote, 2nd place overall. He's got Nathan Nickerson right in front of him. And right behind him is Anthony Jenkins. So this is the battle for the M Class Championship as it stands, and these guys are running at 9th and 10th overall. You got to look way back to 29th overall, 15th in the AM class. That's where you'll find Jim Dutton. And I mean, we've seen him mount some charges from the back after some early lap 1 incidents before, but this is going to be a pretty monumental task.
Yeah, and you see the time there, 15 and a half seconds. I mean, I know we're only five minutes into this thing, but man, that's going to take something crazy here for him to kind of get himself back up into this situation for the championship here. It's unfortunate. You don't want anything like that to happen on lap 1, or I mean on any lap, but just on lap 1 is just devastating.
And really, you know, of course it absolutely sucks. It may even, you know, it's as bad if not worse if somebody else takes you out, but maybe it is worse if you do it on your own. I mean, unforced error there is what set him off. He just got you know, on the curb a little bit wrong, got that thing a little bit loose, and it just snapped on him on those cold tires. And yeah, it's one thing to just be stewing and mad at somebody else after the race when an issue like that happens, but man, when you're kicking yourself where you could have possibly thrown away a championship, I mean, it's still plenty of a long race left, about 39 minutes left in this race, so anything can happen. But you see Jim Dutton now. Again, I like this move. You take a look at the track. He's going to come out here in clean air. He's not going to worry about anybody for majority of this race until everybody pits. So I like this move. Just get in here and maybe have a second to take a little breather and just relax. It's still a long race. You never know. I mean, Nicholas Cote and Anthony Jenkins right alongside each other, so they can certainly get into a little bit of a scrap. And it doesn't matter. You know, none of them have to win. You know, the winner of the AM class could finish 8th in the AM class tonight, depending on how things shake out. So not over by any means, but at the front of the field overall, Colin Winslow leads the pack with Chris Hamilton as they have checked out. So about a 2-second lead over Andrew Walker in 3rd.
Yeah, just to get back to Jim there, I mean, you know, a lot of racing is, you know, the physical aspect of it, and, you know, the hand-eye coordination and everything, and a lot of it is mental, you know, your mental state. Like, he has to gather himself now and keep his, I mean, where does your head go at that point? I mean, like you said, it wasn't somebody else, it was your own self who did that, and just to kind of get in your, you know, get out of your own head, I guess, so to speak. So just to try to get the mental side of it and rally around, hey, I still got a chance here, let's just go finish this thing and see what happens.
It's kind of walking off, rub some dirt on it, you know, all the cliches. Just you got to let it go, and you got to let it go quick, because you got to get in rhythm now. You see him on the track map there, you know, all by himself at the top of the track map right there. He's got plenty of room in front of him and behind him to just get in a groove, set some heaters. You know, you heard him. He set you know, some fast laps in the practice session. Can he do it again as the leader of the AM class, right in front of Cote and Jenkins? Did not have a nice trip through Sunset, and we said it before, you have to be cautious right there. One little bump, taking it a little bit the wrong way, and now Nathan Nickerson has fallen all the way back to 6th place in the AM class. What that's going to do is now your new leaders are the 2 guys battling for the championship here, 2 of the 3. Nicholas Cote is your leader, Anthony Jenkins in 9th, and Joe, Nicholas Cote started back there in 17th. I mean, I think there's no other thing to do but go back and take a look at this first lap and watch him just get all the way up here to 8th place.
Yeah, we got to find out how he was able to navigate that. I mean, there wasn't like a big wreck or nothing, but man, like I said in the opening there, if there was an open, he had to take it. I mean, you just have to be so aggressive there and take what you can get.
I'm on board here with Nicholas Cote for this first lap, and I guess for him it's good that he had the left starting spot so he can get to that inside. And you see all the bumping and banging going on right in front of him. Keeps that thing to the left because he's going to have the inside or the next corner as well, but actually goes to the outside here of AJ Roderick. That on the left-hand side was Anthony Jenkins that he was getting around. still actually side by side with him. As he made the pass, the late dive and lunge to the inside there. A little bump with Nathan Nickerson. That could have been very bad. As you see, Anthony Jenkins tries to fight back here. Again, there's a replay of the opening lap and how Nicholas Cope got all the way up to what is now 8th place. What a start.
Yeah, I mean, it's what he had to do here. I mean, starting back there behind these guys, he had to be as aggressive as he could be.
Well, now we got to take a look as pro drivers getting in the mix here. This is Tyler Torville getting around Anthony Jenkins, and does it the hard way. How about going around the outside in turn number 1? Keeps in it, and bing goes that corner, and now there is a pro-class driver in between Cote and Jenkins. We'll see if Torville's got the speed to catch up to Cote and get on by him as well, but that was a very fancy pass in turn number 1 for sure.
Yeah, and I mean, not what Jenkins needed to see. I mean, he was already starting to lose a little bit of time to Nicholas Cote here, and now he's got a car in between him to deal with. I mean, we've still got quite a bit left to go here. We're not even close to halfway, but he's starting to lose ground here. Or is he just saving a little bit to extend the fuel or save a little bit of tire here? It looked like Jim took tires, so he's going to be good to go for the rest of the, I mean, obviously go all the way, but only having a couple laps on those tires, decided to go ahead and take some new ones. Or maybe after that spin, they just, because I know that the Mustang's real bad about that, right? If you get them hot, then they're just kind of junk after that.
Yeah, it's hard to get them cooled back down and get them back into racing pace and not have them just greasy the entire rest of the run. But I mean, right here is again, you know, it seems like every track that we go to, we can kind of pick out a corner and just, you know, here's where you want to put your chair at and watch the rest of the race, or put that camera right there and watch it. It's going to be Sunset. It is certainly the most famous corner here at Sebring, and you see why. It's a hairpin, and it's decent speed. It's not full throttle, but it's not, you know, first gear. It's decent speed that you're carrying through there, probably 3rd or 4th gear, and it is bumpy. And you hit one of those bumps the wrong way, and you see when Nathan Nickerson just spun that back end right around, and it's really hard to catch. You know, if it's just nice, smooth paved asphalt, you can catch that little bit of a spin, a little bit of wiggle right there, but it's too bumpy here. Every time you think you might catch it, it's just going to bump and just slide you a little bit more. But so far, so good for right here, the leader in the AM class, Nicholas Cote. And again, I can't say enough about that opening lap. Way back there, 9 spots, or 9 cars in front of him, and the leader, you know, the one on the pole, Anthony Jenkins, and he has flipped the script big time. He has passed all those 9 cars, and Anthony Jenkins has fallen back a spot as well. So, flyer of a start here for the 17. Keep an eye on the lap times of Jim Dutton, and to give you an idea, that last lap by Nicholas Cote with a 2:01.44, Anthony Jenkins 2:01.69, and Jim Dutton 2:01.50. So all 3 running similar lap times, but Jim Dutton's he's got to get that lap pedal a little bit more if he wants any chance to catch these guys, or he's just got to hope they have some kind of issues.
Yeah, I think at this point, I mean, he needs something to happen to these guys to kind of get himself back into that conversation. I mean, I don't think he's going to be able to race his way back up into a podium here tonight, but he's going to need these guys to have, you know, similar issues than what he had. You know, I mean, we're still a long ways to go. I mean, we still have pits to come. I mean, we could see a pit road penalty. You know, come down, cool his tires off, and then that outlap's going to be pretty important. So, you know, these guys still have to execute.
Well, meanwhile, the man executing the pass for the lead, we missed this a lap or 2 ago. This is Chris Hamlin getting a lot better of a run through turn number 1 than Colin Winslow, and pass for the overall lead. It is going to the 20 of Chris Hamilton. You see Winslow tried to fight back as much as he could, but he's going to tuck in behind the 20 of Chris Hamilton as we take you back live, and you see just a little bit of a gap forming here between the 20 of Hamilton and the 19 of Winslow. And not too far behind there, Ricky Renner still in the mix, as is Andrew Walker. Skylar Vickroy back another 2.3 seconds in 5th place, but a good run for him so far. Steve Brown, John Nomier are the top 7 in the pro class, and then 8th place overall is where you'll find Nicholas Cote, Tyler Torville in the pro class in 9th, and then Anthony Jenkins in 10th place. So, I mean, your top 2 guys in the AIM class in the top 10.
Well, I mean, that pass for the lead wasn't for nothing either, because these guys are in a points battle themselves for 2nd place in the pro division. I mean, Hamilton had a 3-point lead coming in here tonight over Collins, so they're battling for 2nd here right now for the for the season end of the points. So they got their own little race going on, with the overall win here tonight as well.
And we talked to Chris about that last week. I mean, he's got the nickname for a reason of Bridesmaid. He earned that over in the Core Racing League from just so many 2nd place finishes, both in races and in championships. So, as much as he hates finishing 2nd, he wants to kind of retain that Bridesmaid title and finish 2nd here in the points, and maybe getting it done with a win here tonight is what it's going to take. But so far, so good for your top drivers here in the pro class. Again, over in the AM class, Nicholas Cote, Anthony Jenkins, Randy Ayers in 3rd place, Nathan Nickerson back up to 4th, Brandon Potts in 5th.
Yeah, really, I mean, a good season for Chris here. I mean, his first season here in CSRL, and he's got himself a little off track there, but he got himself a win and some other podiums here, and got a chance here at Sebring to finish it off. Kind of book in the first race and last race here, and finish 2nd in points, and pretty good maiden voyage here in CSRL.
Pretty good scrap back here, and the mid pack for the M class. This is Todd Torville making the pass here, and Paul Bailey, Randy Ayers actually. I just got done saying Randy Ayers in 3rd.
Yeah, he was in.
Let's see what happened, and Sunset claiming another victim, and you see him just kind of getting a little bit loose and drifting out there. Take a look at that one more time. It looked like the car kind of bouncing around a little bit on the exit. You see him right there. Have to correct it to the left, and unfortunately for him, the 24.
Bryce was there.
Bryce Reiner right there, and Ayers gets hooked into the wall and kind of slid off the wall there, but just because of the wall kind of juts out there. I mean, it doesn't look like too much crazy damage there on the front, but certainly going to need that fast repair once he comes in. So that's going to move Nathan Nickerson after that spin in Sunset. He's back up to 3rd.
Yeah, good battle back for him to be able to be back up to 3rd right now after that spin we seen him do earlier.
You see him here battling with Frank Pisano, and again another spin, and that's a tough spot to be in right there, trying to get off the track, trying to get out of the way, because it's kind of blind getting through that through Le Mans right there. Gonna lose a ton of time, a ton of positions again here. Is the 280. That Lamborghini just not being kind to him tonight. Going to drop back to currently in 11th. This is 12th place in the M-Class. William Burrell looking to make the pass here on the outside. Bryce Reiner is going to bring the 24 into the pits, maybe get some of those repairs done. Maybe just taking an early pit stop here. Randy Ayers, Stephen Price also going to come into the pits this lap. As we are getting close to the 19-minute mark right now, getting close to that halfway point already. And, I mean, these races just fly by. There's so much action, especially in the first half of these races. And there's just so much to watch. And now what's going to be interesting is where this man comes out. Where he is going to come out in regards to the pit stops here. As he's coming by right now. Getting by Jay Little, Stephen Price, Randy Ayers. Looks like Bryce Reiner is going to come out in front of him. But Bryce Reiner not for position. That is in the pro class. So currently Jim Dutton up to 11th, and again he's made his pit stop, albeit not when he wanted to, right away on lap number 3, but he's done and dusted. It's over with. Now he can just again put his head down and hopefully pass a bunch of cars on this on these round of pit stops, so he can get back up there and maybe have a chance yet to battle with Cote and Jenkins for this championship.
Yeah, because the way with the 2 drop races, it's hard to tell how many points that he really needs here tonight, because I mean your best 8 races are getting scored here, so you throw away 2 of the races, but you just throw away your 2 worst finishes. So if he can, I don't know, improve on those 2 finishes and finish whatever, and get some kind of points here tonight, I mean that may help him here in the championship. I mean, we won't know for sure until after the race, even I guess how they finish. Whoever finishes ahead of these 3 may not necessarily win the championship. We assume so, but we won't know. We won't get an official word until they do the points. So we got Jenkins on pit road.
Anthony Jenkins going to peel off and give up 2nd place here in the AM class to come into the pits. Now we'll get a better idea of how much time Jim Dutton lost in that early spin and how much time he was able to catch back up. Anthony Jenkins falling down the order right now. Again, Jim Dutton in 11th position. And Anthony Jenkins is in 10th. So this thing could be right back on its head.
He's right at the same straightaway there.
Take a look back in the distance. Looks like Jim Dutton is going to file out and...
oh, that was somebody else.
Yes, looks like he's still about 15 seconds. Actually, it's more correctly, it's still trying to catch up here, but looks like he is 15.7 seconds behind Anthony Jenkins. But more importantly, he is possibly going to come out here right around 3rd place. So all it could take is one little mistake from either of these guys, and he can be right back in the mix. Now it's going to be interesting to see where Nicholas Cope, when he comes into the pits, to see if he reacts to the 54 of Anthony Jenkins coming in there, and maybe worried about the short pit there, and maybe Anthony Jenkins was just coming in to get out of the wake there from Tyler Torville, as Torville running in between Cope and Jenkins for quite some time there. So maybe just wanting to try and get some clean air and get out from behind the 22, but keep an eye on Cope here through sunset, and he is going to react. He is going to come right into the pits. So now all 3 of the championship competitors here in the AM class are going to be back on the same strategy. Every one of them has completed their pit stop, and we are halfway through the season ender here tonight. We are 22.5 minutes through this race, and it's been just like the whole season. It's been so much to talk about in this first half of the race, and it's far from over.
That's interesting. Everybody, the Jenkins and Dutton took tires. Nicholas Cope did not.
Did they take tires? I mean, I know you can take some. Take a look here, and you see Jenkins there in the distance, but not going to be enough to catch up to Cope here. You see him coming through right there, the pink Porsche in the background. That is Jenkins. So Cope is going to come back out in front of Anthony Jenkins by a decent amount here as well, as he is 2.9 seconds ahead of Jenkins. And that's certainly a nice little cushion to have here. You can kind of let it breathe and keep off those curbs maybe just a little bit more, at least for a few laps, to kind of calm, slowly bring these tires back into temperature.
The wedge wrench in the top of that thing? I haven't noticed that before. What do we got going on there?
It does indeed look like that, yes.
One of them slot cars or something.
Well, at the front of the field, it is Chris Hamilton still leading the way now by about a second. You see it right there over Colin Winslow, Ricky Renner, Andrew Walker, Steve Brown still the top 5. John Nobinger, Tyler Torville, AJ Roderick, Dan Morera, and Jonathan Neal for your top 10. And Neal's another one that you haven't talked about for quite some time. He came in and had quite a few good races here, but only running 10th place here tonight.
Yeah, he hasn't been here too much this season, but I know last season he was gaining some momentum there at the end of the year. Was he going to make a late move there to get to pit road? But another guy who has shown speed and is really, really good in the rain races, from what I remember. I mean, I think he got a podium or a win in one of the rain races last season. So maybe just some scheduling conflicts and wasn't able to show up too much this season.
quite a few drivers from the Pro class in the pits this time. Ricky Renner, Andrew Walker, Steve Brown, Tyler Torville. I see Jonathan Neal in that time. Todd Torville from the M class also going to come in. So it's starting to get pretty busy in that pit lane. Brandon Potts, Steve Santana, Glenn Lasagna are top 3 right now for the M class. Paul Bailey and Nathan Nickerson for the top 5. None of them have come into the pits just yet to make their pit stop, and you can see the same thing for the top 6 and the Pro class. They've yet to come in and make their pit stop, and lead is kind of hanging right there, right at about 1 second. But you see that track map, it's starting to get a little bit more cluttered here after some of these pit stops, or most of these pit stops have been completed. So you wonder, you know, now that Chris is kind of coming up on the back half of this field here, does he make the call to come into the pits this time?
I bet he's probably going to stay out here quite a bit.
Not sure if that was him letting Winslow know he's going to be pitting this time, or if he's just trying to break the draft as they head into the sunset one more time. And
oh, he is coming.
He is going to be bringing 20 in, and right behind him is Colin Winslow, trying to get every bit possible, getting into pit lane. Top 2 in. We'll see if third place John Nomier comes in pits. No, he is going to stay out for another lap, and new leader here at Sebring is the 44 of Nomier. Haven't seen too much from John this season. Obviously, doing some great battling last season for the AM Class Championship, and not necessarily having a bad season by any means, but just there's a lot of good drivers here in the Pro class, and it can humble you a little bit for sure. I mean, you just ask brain fart now on who the AM Class champion was last year.
Torres.
Yeah, Torres. Christian Ortiz Torres. That's it.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, you ask him how much more difficult the Pro class is. It's definitely not a walk in the park. Looks like Hamilton did get out in front of Colin Winslow by quite a decent margin. You see it right there, 2.25 seconds heading down into the hairpin, and it's due in no small part to the time that he was in pit lane. Only 15.8 seconds in his pit stall compared to Colin Winslow's 16.9, so 1.1 seconds gained just in the pit time itself. Steve Santana and John Nomier are the last two to be out there on the track that have yet to come into the pits. John Nomier leading the Pro, Steve Santana leading in at the AM Class. Good to see Steve back out here. I know he ran a few seasons with us over in the Core GT series, but kind of think same thing, a little scheduling conflicts across the board for him. But good to see him back out here on the track in the 343 and leading some laps as well before he comes into the pits. It appears that the top 3 in the AM Class are going to be Nicholas Coe, Anthony Jenkins, and Jim Dutton. They're going to most likely cycle out to be the top 3, but the question is, some off tracks there from Andrew Walker and Ricky Renner, trying to get around Steve Santana here. As John Nomier now is going to bring the 44 into pit lane. We'll see if Santana does the same here from the front of the AM Class. Yeah, he's going to stay to the right-hand side and bring the 343 in. So that's going to complete the pit cycle here tonight at Sebring. 29 minutes in. Lead going to cycle back to Chris Hamilton, Colin Winslow, Andrew Walker, Ricky Renner for the top 5. Ricky Renner and then John Nomier, as he's coming out right now, is going to be in the top 5. Very close behind, though. You see right there, Skylar Bickroy and Steve Brown in 6th and 7th. In at the AM Class, not too far behind is Nicholas Coe, but not too far behind him is Anthony Jenkins, as Tyler Torville all over the bumper of the 17, and it's not for position. But Coe doesn't want to give up this track position here because he knows Anthony Jenkins is right there. It is 3.5 tenths of a second behind is Anthony Jenkins, and you look back in the distance back there is Jim Dutton. quite a few seconds back. 17 and a half seconds behind your leader here, Nicholas Coate. So he's going to need Coate and Jenkins to get in a bit of a mix-up here to have any chance of this. I mean, Tyler Torville, man, playing a bit of a part in this thing as well, as he is the meat in the sandwich here.
Yeah, and I mean, man, this is so many different strategies can unfold here, and a 17. I'm wondering if the not taking tires, maybe why Jenkins was able to pull back up to him, because he had quite a bit of a good lead there after the pit cycle, and now the 54 is bearing down, and he's got to try to find a way around not only the 22 but then the 17.
Well, you keep in mind too that Nicholas Coate said he's trying to find his feet with this Ford here tonight, just not really comfortable, and that's why he qualified as bad as he did back there in 17th overall. Anthony Jenkins has, well, it looked like he at least found the pace in qualifying, and he's found it now in the race as well. He's got the fastest lap out of the three competitors with a 2-minute flat .78, with Nicholas Coate having a .90. Now, it's not a big difference, but the fact that Anthony Jenkins has been hitting lap times right around that same pace. And here he goes, Jenkins to the inside, trying to get around Torville, but Torville battling with him still. And this is letting Coate stretch out his lead just a little bit.
Yeah. Oh, a little loose again.
And I think that's the tire's a little angry, and maybe the driver a little bit angry as well, trying to get around Torville. And right there could have been the possibility as Torville gets off the road there a little bit. But man, 32 minutes elapsed so far, so we are down to 13 minutes left in this race. Joe, are you entertained?
Yeah, and it's man, there's still a lot to decide here. It's gonna be interesting to see how aggressive the 54 gets here. Try to get around this 22 so that they can battle this thing out. And then if you're the 22, I mean, I think you got to realize what the situation is here, but you're also racing for positions as well.
I mean, this is a battle between 8th, 9th, and 10th overall. So a pretty good run for all these drivers, and we'll bring up the overall standings here if I can find it all of a sudden.
I mean, these three have been, nose to bumper pretty much the last 20 minutes or so of this race. So really, really similar pace and speed here.
Here, let's just take a look at the overall here, and you see Coate running there in 8th place, Torville in 9th, and Jenkins in 10th. And then you got to look down there to 14th for Jim Dunn. 3rd place in the AM class, and now a move into sunset. Looking to get aggressive here is the 54. He wants this position on track. He's not necessarily looking for the position overall, but it looks like he has finally gotten around Torville. And now the championship could be in his sights, and is directly in front of him. Nicholas Coate right in front of him now. The other thing that we didn't really factor in is the bonus points. I mean, Jenkins, because of his pull in the AM class, could be sitting in the captain's seat regardless. He may be able to win this thing if he finishes right behind Nicholas Coate.
Yeah, and I think they get a point for the fastest lap per division as well. So, and Jenkins,
which currently would be held by Jenkins as well. Nobody has gone faster. Fastest lap overall looks like it is held by Colin Winslow. Nobody has creeped into the 159s just yet. Colin Winslow with a 2-minute .02, so he can't get much closer than that as he's trying to hunt down Chris Hamilton, but pretty sizable lead out front, 1.84 seconds right now is the lead from Hamilton over Winslow. And then you got to go back another 8.5 seconds before you get to Andrew Walker, who is currently in 3rd, Ricky Renner in 4th, and then John Nominger a little ways back there as he's about 4 seconds behind this tandem 2 here in 5th place. Skylar Vic Roy and Steve Brown rounding out your top 7 in the Pro class.
Good run here for Skylar here tonight as well. I mean, kind of been in and out this season, but good run here for the last race of the season.
Got Going back a little bit further in the pack as you got 3 under a blanket right here as you got Lazan, Ayers, and Nickerson. Nickerson sends it to the inside there of Lazan. Good battle for 6th, 7th, and 8th here in the M class. Nickerson earlier in the race was leader in the M class before he had now won with 2 spins. That sent him back towards the back, and this is his second charge through the field at this point. The first one got him back up to 3rd, but now he's scrapping to try and get back past these guys are kind of finding their feet a little bit more, a little bit faster at this point in the race. We're down under 10 minutes.
A good run here for the points or the team thing too, because Craig had his trouble here tonight, and his teammate's Glenn, so he's gonna have to carry that team here at Sebring.
Yeah, check back in with Craig Jancic, way back here in 31st, and you want to talk about a race that is a drop race. I'm pretty sure this is going to be a drop race for the 3 team. Back in 31st overall, 15th, which is second last in the pro class. Looks like Morgan Smith. Not sure how many laps. It looks like he didn't even get on the grid here tonight for the 10 of Morgan Smith. But at the front of the field, it is still Chris Hamilton, but you see that lead. It is no longer 2 seconds. It is a half a second.
Ooh, wow. That shortened up quickly.
Yeah, and I'm looking back through. I don't see any kind of issues with Chris Hamilton getting off track or anything of the matter. I mean, Colin Winslow has had the bit in his teeth, and both these drivers have been putting in some fast lap times. Take a look at this time by and just get an idea of if it was a Hamilton mistake or if it was Winslow just putting in a heater. And definitely Hamilton making a mistake 2 seconds slower just on that lap right there. And that is the distance, 0.35 seconds right now from 1st to 2nd. And oh, by the way, we've got some developments in the M class. Anthony Jenkins, this is the pass for the lead on Nicholas Coates into Sunset. All he needed to do was get around Tyler Torville, and now he has his eyes set on this win. You see Torville also getting around it as well. This just happening in the M class, and man, it keeps changing on us. It keeps getting even more interesting. But right there, Anthony Jenkins is your new leader. We'll go back live and show you. Tyler Torville right behind. He's still over the back bumper now of Anthony Jenkins, wanting to get back past again. Threw himself into 8th place overall, but what a pass there, what a run. Anthony Jenkins to the lead in the M class and possibly driving his way to a championship.
Yeah, and he's got something figured out in the final turn there, because he's made both of those passes right there, and he's got that Porsche dialed in through those bumps and that sweeping corner there. So he's got something dialed in his hip pocket there.
Skylar Vickroy having a bit of a rough run through the middle section of this track, and Steve Brown makes the pass and moves himself into 6th position. Back a little further in the pack, battle for 10th and 11th in the pro class. Bryce Reiner, AJ Roderick, and they are certainly nose to tail. Good looking, just sometimes you don't need much to make a paint look good. That RRD SWM design there for AJ Roderick looking pretty nice there in the majority of a red car right there. It just kind of looks nice. It stands out just enough to let you know it's there. And I mean, helps that he's in the Mustang, kind of one of the bigger cars out here to let you know it's got a little grunt to it as he's trying to run down Bryce Reiner here again at 10th and 11th here in the pro class. We'll get back to the battle at hand, and it looks like Anthony Jenkins starting to stretch out just a little bit over Torville here. Maybe holding up Coat. And Coat maybe looking to try and make a pass, but just not close enough here in the turn number 3.
Yeah, it seems like he's falling at the wrong time here. And Jenkins is starting to distance himself from the 17.
Unfortunately for Jim Dutton, he has fallen further back. He's now 32, almost 33 seconds behind your leader here of Anthony Jenkins and Nicholas Coates. So unless we're missing something with the drop races, it's certainly not out of the realm of possibilities yet, but it looks like Jim Dutton may not be in the mix for the championship. It looks like, by all means, it could be going to the man that started off the season, gangbusters, looking very well in the first few races, that being the 54 of Anthony Jenkins, and looking to he's going to bookend the season here and grab himself a championship.
Yeah, we got a chance here for both classes here. Chris Hamilton, your week 1 winner. Jenkins, your week 1 winner.
Jim Dutton's got his hands
he's got
full.
some damage.
And yeah, we're going to take a look here and see. Just recently happened right here. Right there, snapping.
Oh boy.
And hard impact there. Hello Kitty said hello to the tires. And the damage is certainly hurting him as we go back live. He's in a battle with Brandon Potts here. This is for the last place in the podium. And Brandon Potts is going to be big. And there's a podium here on the line. I know Jim Dutton is right there. Came in the mix for the championship, but Potts doesn't care about that at all. He wants to get up here. He wants to get that podium and finish out the season, I'm sure. So good battle right here. The overall lead stretched back out to 0.8 of a second here as we are down to 3.5 minutes left in the season, or at least in the individual point season. Of course, like we mentioned, 2 weeks from now we got the team championship finale at Daytona, but this is it for the individual points here tonight.
The fact that he's still able to keep some kind of speed and pace here is pretty remarkable. That was a pretty good lick there that Mr. Dutton took.
Back over here to your leader in the M class, and just as we turn away, it looks like, not sure what's going on there. I thought he was letting him by. Okay, yeah, he did let him by. There we go.
Yeah.
And it looks like Brandon Potts is going to take over 3rd place here. Just significant damage there to the 83, and unfortunate for him. But we'll get back over here to the lead here in the M class. Tyler Torville still right between them, but it looks like Nicholas Coate maybe just kind of falling off pace here a little bit, and you could be right. He may have been the only one not to take tires on that pit stop, and it's certainly hurting him right now as Anthony Jenkins is consistently running faster. We'll take a look at the lap times here for, let's see if I can. You can at least take a look for Jenkins on the top and Coate on the bottom, and you see the difference in the lap times. Of course, as we have some of the sponsors going right over top of it here. But I mean, consistently slower by about half a second is Coate these last few laps. We are down, not the final lap yet, 2 laps to go here. The way it looks at Sebring. Out front, it is Chris Hamilton, but not by a big margin. One little mistake here, and Winslow is going to look to try and steal this win away here on the final night. Just 0.6 of a second separating the top 2. Andrew Walker, Ricky Renner, John Nobinger for your top 5, but Nobinger having a bit of an issue here. And the McLaren just stepping out on him. Pretty good save overall.
Yeah.
And not actually even going to lose a position on the track. But Steve Brown, you see him coming right there into the picture. And we'll take you live to them real quick. This is live right here. Brown looking to make the pass to move himself into the top 5. But Nobinger going to deny him, at least for the time being. We'll get back to your leaders here. And again, you see it very close, only half a second separating the top 2 as they head through Le Mans and down to Sunset. It should be the penultimate time through Sunset for tonight's race. And it's been a pretty good race here for the 20 of Hamilton. He took a little bit to get around Winslow, but once he did, it wasn't really much battle. Not sure if Winslow was just kind of running around here, pacing around, or if it was more of Chris Hamilton kind of controlling this pace. But you see Barney there waving that white flag. One more lap to go. And Chris Hamilton, like we just mentioned, bookend the season, grab the first win and grab the last win, and kind of scratching his head through the middle part of this season. He's certainly, he's one of the faster guys out here. He's up there in second place in the points for a reason. But just Craig Jancic, if he doesn't have an issue, he's tough to beat out here. Unfortunately for him, on lap number 1, he did have an issue. The car really stepped out on him. A hard turn to the right when he tried to correct it, and big impact in the wall. He's going to finish deep in this pack here tonight. Looks like he's currently running 24th overall, 14th in the pro class. So it left these two to do battling the rest of the night. And Chris Hamilton has been the one that has gotten the better of Colin Winslow here tonight, at least for now. This thing is not over yet, so I've got half a lap left to go. But these guys have been the class of the field clearly. 12 seconds between them and Andrew Walker in third.
Yeah, I mean, they've just kind of been on an island of themselves here this entire race. I mean, especially after the pit cycle went through there. Chris was able to gain a little bit on the pit cycle, but then Colin closed it up here late in this race, but looks like he may fall short here. Unless Chris has some kind of mistake here his last couple turns.
So far, so good as they head down to Sunset. One final time, 0.6 of a second is the gap. It's not shrinking by enough. Even a late send here by Winslow isn't going to be able to do it. It's going to take a mistake by Hamilton on the final turn, on the final lap. And he is not going to make one. Checkered flag in the air. Chris Hamilton, your winner here tonight at Sebring. Colin Winslow going to bring it home in second place. Good run for the 19. We'll look at the battle here for third, which is also very close coming down to the line. But Andrew Walker going to complete the podium here tonight. Ricky Renner going to bring it home in fourth place right behind him. John Nobinger in a battle to the line.
Nobinger.
And by 0.06 seconds, Nobinger going to take that fifth place over Steve Brown, who's going to finish in sixth. Skylar Vickroy, a good run from him tonight in seventh, but the man of the night right there, Anthony Jenkins, comes back in the back half of this race and takes the lead and gets the win here in the AM class. Nicholas Cote coming home in second, as a little bump there after the flag there. Brandon Potts coming through Sunset, just needs to come through this final corner, and he is going to grab the third and final podium position here tonight. You see Jim Dutton right behind him. He is unfortunately going to come home in fourth place tonight.
What a drive back, though, to come back and get fourth, and potentially had third if he doesn't get loose one more time through there, and he just parks it.
Yeah, we may have to take a look at that just one more time. Oops.
He would totally finish it off there. Leave no doubt.
And you see right there, yeah, just a little bit of impact, and unfortunately, comes right back there into the 343 of Steve Santana, who also had a pretty fantastic night, finishing in fifth place. But I guess
tire, that's impressive.
if you want to wrap up the season ender here for Jim Dutton, it's right there. That's where his championship hopes went, unfortunately. But a fantastic race by all these drivers out here. Once again, we'll take a look at the final results as the last few drivers still completing the running. But Joe, the finale certainly had a little bit of everything. It had some of our championship contenders getting some issues early, had some amazing first lap drive from Nicholas Cote, and just coming up just a little bit short with the pace at the end.
Yeah, I mean, he had the start of all starts and did what he needed to there on that first lap. And got himself ahead of both of those guys. And then, unfortunately, I think he may have some regrets on if he, it doesn't look like he took tires, but either way, it looked like the tires went away there late in the race and just wasn't able to keep pace with Jenkins there. Jenkins kind of just slow and steady, and then, made his moves there late in the race and and at the last turn there, and was able to get around Torville and then finally get around Nicholas Cote there to get the win here tonight. And pinning the points here, looking like maybe he's got the win here tonight and possibly the championship.
Yeah, we'll wait for our drivers to get all completed up here and get them into the waiting room for their interviews. But in the meantime, let's take a look at tonight's results. And in the Pro class, it is Chris Hamilton getting the win by 0.4 of a second over Colin Winslow. Andrew Walker, Ricky Renner, and John Nomier for your top 5. Then you got Steve Brown, Skylar Vickeroy, Tyler Torville, Dan Morera, and Bryce Reiner for the top 10. Rest of the Pro class field going to be AJ Roderick, Frank Pisano, Devin Young, Craig Jancic, Jonathan Neal, and Morgan Smith. Over in the AM class, it's going to go to Anthony Jenkins by 3.5 seconds over Nicholas Cote. Brandon Potts bringing home the podium. Jim Dutton, I guess we can take the Mister off there. He didn't finish on the podium here tonight. Maybe for his sake, we'll take the Mister off there. But still, a heck of a battle all season from the 83. We'll talk to him here in a bit. He finishes in 4th. Steve Santana rounding out the top 5. Randy Ayers, Nathan Nickerson, Len Lazan, Stephen Price, William Burrell for your top 10. Jim Herrick, Cesar Colon, Paul Bailey, Ian Wilson, Jay Little, Brandon Powell, Todd Torville, Renan DeLima, and Jason Potts going to round out your 19-car AM class field here tonight. This was a fun one. I shouldn't be surprised at this point. They're all fun here on CSRL, and I guess the only bad thing is, the only downer is season's coming to an end. Obviously, this is the last points race for the individuals. We still got one more race with them coming up in a couple weeks at Daytona for the team points finale. But let's go ahead and start getting these drivers in here for their interviews. And we'll start with third place finisher here tonight, and that's going to be the 108 of Andrew Walker. Joe, why don't you go ahead and take Andrew?
Hey, Andrew, you got a copy?
Got a copy?
Hey, man, you got the win last night, and you back that up with the third place here tonight. Kind of talk me through your race here tonight.
Try not to die. I hate this track, like I said last week.
Well, you didn't, and you came away third, so I guess it's probably maybe a feather in the cap for maybe some more confidence at this track going forward.
A little bit here and there. I've only ever practiced it in LMP2. Hopefully I drive that a little bit more, but I know that's a different place, different time. Hopefully I turn into a Sebring enjoyer sometime soon in the near future, just not tonight.
So kind of, I'm not sure where you'll end up here in the points, but definitely probably a top 5 finish here in points on the season. Kind of wrap up your season here, and what's your thoughts, and are you coming back next year, and what's your outlook looking for that?
I have another potential league with a team in the works. I may or may not be doing that. So if I'm doing that, probably not. If I'm not doing that, I would definitely be back. I think I forgot the other part of that question.
Just kind of how your season went here.
It went mostly okay when I actually showed up. I mean, I definitely took both of the drop rounds, essentially just not even showing. I had a couple issues, definitely those first 5 rounds. I had some contacts, just some self-spins, especially in some of the rain. I did not have a good time. I think part of that just comes from the Mustang. Part of that just comes from not enough practice time.
And, just the competition here as well. Just kind of speak on that for a second.
Craig, Colin, and Chris are all absolutely rapid. I probably don't have a chance catching them ever. Outside of a couple tracks that I'm very comfortable in, and if I pick the right car for the week. I definitely had a good time racing them, especially I think Barcelona with Craig was probably my favorite time.
Well, congrats on the third here tonight, and a good season, top 5 in points, and congrats on that as well. And before we let you go and get out here, anybody want to give a shout out to?
Shout out to my dog again. Right after I got the win last week, he unfortunately passed away the following morning. So,
oh man, sorry to hear that, man.
For him, but we had a great time together. So, here's for the memories, right?
Yep. Well, sorry to hear that, and let you get out of here and celebrate this third place, and maybe we'll see you next season.
Yep. Y'all have a good one.
Alrighty.
That is your third place finisher here tonight, the 108 of Andrew Walker, and certainly our condolences to Andrew for the passing there. And do want to give two other shout outs here. I know one driver that would like to be out here in the race here tonight, Herbert Pineda. Want to give him a shout out. Had a little minor surgery that he is through and completed, but he did mention he was going to be watching the broadcast there from the hospital room. So if you're still watching, Herbert, shout out to you out there, and shout out to my son. Going to be turning 7 tomorrow. So happy early birthday to him. But we'll bring in second place finisher here tonight, and that is going to be Colin Winslow in the 19. And Colin, once again, heck of a battle, running second. This time it wasn't Craig out front. Unfortunately, Craig had his lap 1, turn 1 issue. But you had one heck of a battle with Chris pretty much all night. It looked like you had the speed there in the beginning, but unfortunately, Chris was able to get by you, and man, he was tough to catch up to and pass at the end.
Yeah, for sure. One mistake out of Sunset really cost me. Every time I got within half a second, it felt like the wash was just too bad. I couldn't get any closer. I just started washing out so bad from the dirty air. And I know the Porsche follows very well. Obviously, I've driven the Porsche behind Craig a lot, enough to know that. So, yeah. I know the Porsche follows very well, but yeah, the Lambo, just as soon as I got within half a second, I was washing out.
So what is it about Sunset? I mean, it's obviously the most well-known corner here at Sebring, and in my opinion, probably the most difficult. I mean, there's a lot of technical sections here at Sebring. Obviously, you can look at the hairpin as being a really tough corner as well, but for some reason, Sunset, it doesn't look like that daunting when you're taking a look at the track map. It just looks like, kind of a lazy little hairpin. But man, is it the bumps or is it just the lure? What is it about Sunset that it makes it so difficult?
Yeah, I think it's multiple things. I think bumps is definitely one of the big factors. But another one, and we don't get this a lot in road racing, but there's so many lines that you can take through there and still be fast. And a lot of it depends on what car you're driving and how that car handles. The Porsche could take it extremely tight and get on the power very early. The Lambo, you got to go in a little slower and V it off a little bit in order to get the power down. So it's really just like this, just the fact that there's so many different lines, and usually only one or two of those lines work for a specific car, and driving style as well. But yeah, that factored in with the bumps and just how on edge you are through the entire turn. I mean, you're absolutely on the edge of grip every time you go through there. One little bump wrong and you're going to go into the wall. So.
Well, you come away with the second place here tonight. Another fantastic run, and I know you definitely have some supporters out there watching you. So before we let you go, who do you want to give a shout out to or thanks to?
Yeah, shout out to you guys. It's been an incredible season. I would say extremely successful season for us. And that's, a big part of that is thanks to you guys. You guys do an incredible job. Shout out to Chris. He was so much fun to race against. The rest of the admin team for helping put together such a successful season. Jim, Renan, Craig. Yeah, so and then shout out everybody watching. I think it's my fam, my girlfriend Kaylee. So shout out everybody watching and supporting me right now.
All right, buddy. Well, congrats again on the second place here tonight. Another good run to finish out the season, and hopefully we'll maybe see you at the season finale there for the team championship. If not, I'm sure we'll see you next year.
Sounds good, boys.
That is your second place finisher here tonight. The 19 of Colin Winslow. Lastly, in the pro class, your winner, Joe, is going to be the 20 of Chris Hamilton.
Well, he started off the season with a win. He's going to finish the season with a win. Chris Hamilton gets the win here at Sebring. How'd you do it, man?
I really like this track. No, it was good. I don't know how these guys are hitting 59s. I have no idea. I've always been slightly off the pace, but whatever pace I run is usually the same pace I have in the race. So, but actually, minimize mistakes. I still made a couple, but it was minimizing them this time.
Yeah, you kind of, you kind of extended the lead there after the pits, and but then Colin was able to really reel you back in there. But I think he just got to a certain point and couldn't couldn't break that bubble, so to speak, and just he said the car just pushed so bad and couldn't really kind of break that, but kind of held him at bay there and finished this thing off. So, and it looks like I guess you'll probably finish second in points. That that was, you guys were in a little bit of a battle coming into tonight, and you had a little bit of a lead, but finishing ahead of him, you're going to be able to secure that second place in points. Kind of talk me through that. Your first season here, and you come away second. I mean, where else would you have finished?
According to Carl, he would have bet money on that, and he probably would have got a decent payout.
I parlayed every second place kind of bet you could with Chris here, so I raked in here tonight.
It was probably the overwhelming favorite, so it was fucking.
It was even money. It was even money. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
As far as how the season was, like I mentioned last week, it kind of got off a little too fast, and then once Craig got going, I finally realized how fast he is. I was like, whoa, this dude is quick, and he's consistent. What am I going to have to do? And there's weeks that I would try to push it too hard. The one week I kind of backed off, was a little bit more fun, and by that point it was already over. But this is it was a good, John Nobinger brought me over, and there was no way I was going to be in the AMP class. I think my I rating is too high for me to be in the AM class, but I think I kind of slotted myself in towards the front of the pro class. I'm happy that I was able to bookend the season with a win and end it with a win. Pretty happy about that. Probably if schedule allows it, I'll probably race next season.
Yeah. So, talk about like maybe. I mean, how much did you learn this season just from being in a new league like this, and some different drivers? Did you pick up anything from anybody, or just you getting out there and getting more experience was just as good?
I think me getting out there, getting more experience was just as good. I love the core league, but sometimes you got to step outside the comfort zone a little bit, and these guys definitely made me step outside that comfort zone. I haven't had to push that hard GT3 wise other than in officials for a while, and the core guys, they're fast. There's some really fast guys that can even kick my butt, but some of these guys can probably they ran circles around me a couple times, and it was trying to figure that out. But towards the end of the season, I think I got the mojo back, and I'll end it off with a win.
Hey, you did here tonight, and like I said, started the season with a win and ended the season with a win, and so congrats on the win here tonight. Congrats on second in points, and but before we let you go, anybody want to give a shout out to or thank?
Huge shout out to Parks de la Cruz for the fun safety car livery. This thing's never coming off. I'll be honest with myself. This thing's never coming off. It's such a good paint scheme. Huge shout out to John Nobinger for bringing me over here. Thanks to all the guys in CSRL for accepting me. I know I'm slightly aggressive on the opening laps. They're all like, don't no 3 wide and then turn 1. I didn't listen. I don't think I've listened all season. Where be careful in the turn 1, no 3 wide, and I took it 3 wide every time. But yeah, they were good. They were on my side when there were mistakes were made. They were first to defend myself, even though when I couldn't. They were first to hold me accountable when I was definitely accountable, and it was a good, fair league. So I can, whoever is the owners, I know there's a couple admins in there. Thank you guys. You guys do put on a good show, and thank you guys for the broadcast.
Right on. Well, we appreciate it, and maybe we'll see you next season.
Yeah, we'll see. Only time will tell. School is going to get even crazier than it is now, but we'll rest up and come into 2025. I think that's when the season is going to start. Nice and fresh.
Right on.
All right, that is your winner here tonight, the 20 of Chris Hamilton in the pro class. Over in the AM class is certainly where we spend quite a bit of time. But it was not one of the top 3 in the points coming home in third. It was the 25 of Brandon Potts bringing home third place here tonight. Brandon, you certainly got a little help from Jim Dutton running off track and getting a major amount of damage to the front end of that Mustang at the end. So it's got to feel good that you were up there in position to be able to steal away this podium here tonight and finish kind of on a high note.
Definitely, yeah. I was a little bit surprised, especially when I botched my pit. So I was completely surprised that I was able to catch Jim and get by him. And I actually asked him after the race, like, did you have damage, or like what happened, man? Because I was catching you and you were also braking a little bit different than normal. But I just figured he'd ran out of tires, because I know sometimes, well, not only Sebring's hard on tires, but the Mustang can be hard on tires as well. So I was like, if I just keep pressuring him and just stick my nose in a couple places, hopefully, it just puts some pressure on him. And basically, I kind of did that. I just figured going into sunset and one is the best place to kind of stick your nose in, even if you're not going for it and they can't see you. So people are a little bit more cautious. So I just always left myself enough room to make sure that, we didn't collide or anything, but that, his spotter at least said there's someone left and then I'd back out. So I was just trying to play a little bit of games while I was catching him a little bit. But yeah, it was a good finish.
Absolutely. I mean, it's great to kind of finish out the regular season here with a podium, but your first podium as a dad, I believe, as well.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is first podium as a dad, definitely. Actually, he chilled most of the race. Actually, he's been awake almost the whole race, just kind of chilling and stuff. So I'm kind of glad he's not a He's a pretty chill baby.
Don't even finish that sentence. I'm going to tell you right now. I'm going to warn you right now. Don't finish that sentence. It's going to bite you. Just letting you know right now. Well, either way, congrats on the good run here tonight. And again, you had to be close enough, even though Jim had the damage and he had the mistake there. You had to be close enough to get that podium here tonight, and you did so and did just that. So congrats to you on finishing the season kind of on a high note. Who do you want to give a shout out to or thanks to?
Definitely thanks to the miss, the baby as well. Thanks to ZFG Racing. And, you guys for putting on a show, CSRL for hosting the league. And I'll see you guys next week for the team event and then next season.
Absolutely, buddy. I believe it's in 2 weeks if Joe is
2 weeks.
Free.
Yeah,
okay.
Right.
Yep. Yeah, so 2 weeks.
I don't have days anymore. I wake up and I'm like,
that sounds more like it. That sounds more like being a new dad. That right there. There we go. Now it makes sense. All right, buddy. Well, congrats again. We'll let you go, and we'll see you in a couple weeks.
You as well. Bye.
That's your third place finisher here in the AM class, the 25 of Brandon Potts. Just want to go back to something that Chris mentioned. He mentioned the speed between CSRL here and the Core GT series. Just a reminder that coming up on the horizon, less than a month away, is going to be the second annual CRN Cup, and that's going to pit all of our fantastic drivers here on CRN up against each other. It's going to be drivers from the Core GT series, the Virtual Velocity Racing CSRL, Core Xfinity, the Yes Car Truck Series, UCRL. All of them are invited to join. It's going to be 2 races, one on the oval and one on the road, and certainly looking to see who's kind of got the chops on the road here between Core GT and CSRL. It's certainly going to be fun to watch that one. But we will now bring in second place tonight, and in the M class, it is going to be the 17 of Nicholas Coate.
And Nick, you got a copy?
Yeah, I got you guys.
Hey, man, what an unbelievable lap one you had. We kind of talked before the race got started there that that's kind of how you needed to start the race. If there was a window, an opening, or whatever, you had to be super aggressive and try to get up there and get up with Jim and Anthony so that you guys could battle this out. And did you think that you were going to be ahead of all of them after the lap one?
Going into turn one, no. Carnage happened. I was in the right space. I had the greatest first lap of my life, and I ended up in first, and then the rest of the race happened.
So it's kind of, we got through the pit stop there, and did you take tires or did you not? I didn't see the car go up, so I was trying to speculate on whether you took tires or not, because I think Anthony took tires and Jim took tires, but did you take tires there at the pit stop?
Nope. Probably should have done that. I had no tires at the end. By the time Anthony got to me, I had no shot. I had nothing left. My only chance was to muck it up and drive defensive, and that worked for one hairpin, but he got on the inside of me in that long straightaway before the last turn, and then I was done. There was no catching him. There's no getting back by him. Congrats to him, though. He played a good race, had a great season.
Yeah, talk about how nerve-wracking that was. I mean, it was you, and then Torville, and then Jenkins. You guys were just bumper to bumper there for several laps, and then Anthony's trying to find a way around the 22 and then get up to you so that he can race with you for this championship for the race win. How nerve-wracking was that for you? Just trying to be able to hold them off and keep the lead.
I was the biggest Tyler Torville fan for those 2 or 3 laps after the stop when we came out. He cut me a lot of slack. He probably could have gotten by me. He was faster than me too. But yeah, I was hoping he would just keep Anthony behind him. He did the right thing though and let him by and let us race it out. But man, I was hoping he wasn't gonna do that, but he did. And then yeah, Anthony got me. But it's good racing, great fun season.
Yeah, I mean, it was really you three throughout the whole season here, you know, winning the most races and all that, and showing the most speed and consistently getting on the podium. And it came down to, you know, the final night here tonight. And I mean, you guys finished 1, 2, and 4. So, I mean, just an unbelievable season, you know, by all 3 of you guys and the rest of the same class. And it's always fun when it comes down to the last race and there's some kind of drama and, you know, and some kind of something to, you know, watch and you guys can showcase that and put it on. But it looks like maybe not taking tires was maybe not the call that you wanted to do. I mean, looking back, is that something you're going to learn from and maybe either not make that mistake again or just maybe attack it differently?
Yeah, I don't know if I could have done anything differently. I think if I took tires, I would have came out behind him, and I don't think I had the pace to get back by him. So it was kind of, he did the undercut, he pit first, he made the right call. Yeah, I just don't think I could have done anything different. My only chance was to stay in front of him and try to keep him behind me.
Is that why you came in the next lap?
Yeah, I knew if I gave him too many laps, he'd undercut me. So, yeah, I just did what I had to stay in front, and then it just didn't work out in the end.
Was it comfortable all night in the Mustang? I mean, I know you've been in a Ferrari most of the season here, but was you know, was that the right call as well?
Yeah, I think so. I couldn't get within half a second in the Ferrari versus the Mustang. So I just went with the Mustang, but the tires went off. I don't know if the Ferrari would have been any better in that situation, but you know, you live and you learn.
Yeah. Well, hey, you had a heck of a season. You got yourself some wins. I mean, you ever, a real legit chance at a championship here tonight, and just a really good season. So congrats on that. And before we let you go, anybody want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, shout out again to my wife for letting me do this, and then you guys for the broadcast. It's been fun. Can't wait for next season, moving up to pro, and we'll see how that goes.
Right on, man. Well, congrats, and we'll see you 2 weeks for the team event.
Yeah, sounds good, guys. Enjoy your Thanksgiving.
Yeah, you too.
That is your second place finisher here tonight in the AM class, the 17 of Nicholas Coate. Last one we will bring in is Anthony Jenkins in the 54. Not only the winner of the AM class here tonight.
I'll put it on speaker.
Yep. We got you.
Oh, well. Hey, guys.
Hey, there we go.
There we go.
So, Anthony, not only the winner here tonight, but the official winner of the AM Class Championship. Congratulations. Man, it was not easy all season long and really all night long by the sounds of the pre-race interview, looking for some kind of speed. You found it by 0.08 of a second over Jim Dutton to take that pole here tonight, but it didn't really last long out there.
Yeah, that race was pretty fraught. I think Jim either got taken out or took himself out pretty early on, which, you know, it's not the way I wanted to see him go, but I'd be lying if I said I wasn't happy to see his name not on my relative anymore. And then about the time that I got the chance to scroll through my relative and figure out where everybody was when I realized that Coate had somehow snuck past me and everyone else in the field in the opening lap there.
Yeah, he pretty much had the lap one of all lap ones. I mean, it was epic, and it's not like he made any kind of crazy moves. It just everything worked out for him, and to gain that many positions and pass you in the process was pretty epic. But I mean, man, we just got done talking to Nicholas about the battle between you and him, but also Tyler Torville right there in the middle,
yes.
and the meat of the sandwich for the entire race. Talk to me about that, man.
Tyler, once I made a mistake early in the race, and Tyler got past me, and you know I wasn't of a mind to fight him because you know we got to finish first and foremost. So you know I said, well, let me just sit back and see what happens, and I got the bright idea to attempt an undercut, and I went in, I took tires, and sure enough, Tyler comes right back out between us. and he was giving Nick all kinds of problems. And eventually, I managed to get past Tyler. You know, he made a small mistake, and I stuck it up the inside of him at Sunset. And then it was just a matter of catching Nick. And by the time I caught him, I think his tires were pretty much done. And it was, you know, pretty standard move up the inside at Sunset. And then I was able to, you know, let some pace go and drive away. So it wasn't too bad. I'll take it.
Yeah, it went from you're probably sitting behind Tyler Torville wondering how do you get around him so you can finally start battling with Nicholas, and he was kind of the one you were hating at that time, and then all of a sudden you get past Nicholas Cote and Tyler Torville's behind you, and all of a sudden he's your friend. He's the guy. He's the guy in between you and Nick.
I was on the radio to Tyler. I was like, "Look, dude, if you catch me, I will let you go. Like we don't gotta fight. Like, I will let you go as soon as you get here." But I don't think either of them took tires, and I did take left side tires, and I think that gave me just the little bit of an edge I needed.
Yeah, Nicholas said he didn't take tires, and he definitely was hurting from it. He didn't have the pace in that second half of the run. But before that, I mean, you're running in second place, and you got Nicholas in front of you. Were you doing any kind of points calculations, you know, in regards to the bonus points, knowing that you got the pole? You know, were you thinking, okay, well, all you got to do is really just finish behind Nicholas, and I got this thing wrapped up?
I was doing that calculation, but at the same time, you know, I wanted to win it on the track. And, you know, I didn't know, you know, extra laps or what his drop weeks were, because I think he's got one more week of participation than I do. I'm not sure. But so I didn't know what his drop weeks were going to be or whatever. It's just, you know, I wanted to make sure I did everything I could do to, you know, to win and then see how it shook out. So
yeah, certainly better safe than sorry. Just get out there and get the win, and you did so tonight. You got Roxy to the top steps tonight, and you finish a bookend in the season, get the win in the first race and the win in the last race, just like the pro class tonight here with Chris Hamilton. So congrats on the win here tonight. Congrats on the AM class championship as well. I mean, as a field to finally be done with this and finally just maybe breathe a little bit.
It's been a fun season, but I got a lot of work to do. You know, the fact of the matter is I was 26 seconds, I think, off of the win overall. So, you know, there's no time to rest, no time to relax. I gotta get after it and try to find some more speed if I want to be able to race with the pro class guys next year.
Yeah, it seems like it's the kind of the same story from every AM class champion year in, year out. It's like, yes, shit.
Yeah, you punch into the big show, and now it's time to really work. So, you know, I'm happy to. It's been a really great season. This league's super fun. A great group of people to race with. You know, I haven't had all the battles I've had, which have been numerous, have all been clean. So I really can't complain at all about the season, and I'm excited to come back next year.
All right, buddy. Well, congrats on your success this season and a few wins to boot, but mainly the win of the championship is certainly one that you can put a feather in the cap for, and congrats on doing it here at Sebring tonight. Before we let you go, who do you want to give a shout out to or thanks to?
Thanks to you guys, man. Like I said, it's every week it's fun to be able to go back and watch the broadcast and you know, pretend for just a minute. So I appreciate what you're doing.
Absolutely, buddy. Well, congrats again, and we'll see you in a couple weeks for the team championship finale.
Absolutely. Thank you.
That's your winner here tonight in the AM class and your winner of the AM class championship, the 54 of Anthony Jenkins. That's going to do it for our drivers interviews here tonight, but we're going to now go ahead and bring in the men behind the curtain here in CSRL, and that being Jim Dutton, Colin Winslow, and Greg Jancic for a little discussion. And I guess first, guys, recap the season here. I mean, I can't say enough. Just, you know, from being not just a broadcaster, but obviously you know, being a league owner myself, hell of a successful season. I mean, the car counts all season long. The racing's been good. No drama. Pretty much, you know, check all the way through the boards here for the season.
Yeah, we've been lucky. It's been great. Got a good group of people here for sure, and got good people helping me outrun this. They do a fantastic job. Hats off to all of them, including two of the guys that are here tonight, Craig and Colin.
Yeah, I know I touch on this a little bit every time I get the chance, but we really do have a great group of people, head to toe. Everybody in each class, a lot of people choose to do league racing to build camaraderie in the first place. I think our people do a really good job of that. We have people that are using our chats on Sunday mornings, just, BSing about the IMSA race that's about to happen and stuff like that. And from a league management perspective, that's the dream.
So,
yeah,
go ahead, Jim.
Sorry, no, I was just going to add to that. I found this league through a post on Facebook. And until that point, I knew absolutely nobody who sim raced. I just had raced online, and I've made so many great friends through this. It's been a dream come true for me for sure.
So the season not officially done just yet. Obviously, we got the team championship coming up in a couple weeks. So I mean, how's your first idea here for 10/11ths of the season here for the team championship? Do you feel like that's a success that something you want to continue doing here?
Colin, Craig.
Yeah, I can speak to that. Yeah. I think it absolutely has been a success. Obviously, we ran this as a test this season just to see how much interest we got, and honestly, we were extremely surprised by how many people were interested in doing the team championship, which is awesome. There's definitely some tweaks we can make to it to make it better, but it seems like people are also almost just as invested in what's going on in the team championship as they are their solo championship. And it gives everybody, if they're out of the championship, it gives them a chance to still, have something to fight for. So yeah, it's been a great success, I believe.
And to the 10/11ths part, Daytona is going to be amazing for the team championship, as part A. Colin, I know you know the exact number, but are we doing a straight up double points for the team for Daytona, or what's the multiplier?
So the multiplier is 3, so triple points, but that is basically 1.5 times what would be available to a team on a given race day, since there's just one car. Right.
Makes sense. And in true CSRL inclusive fashion, we're going to have the ability for either people that didn't want to be on a team that are part of CSRL, they're going to be able to run that. We're going to kind of try to set it up as like a multi-class event, as well as people that might be on a team. And I'm actually an example of this. People that are on a team, but the teammate cannot attend the race. So we're going to have a separate open class for that as well. So it's going to be a good brawl, just in terms of car count and racing quality. I mean, let's face it, everybody loves racing and everybody loves watching Daytona.
Absolutely, and everybody should love watching you guys. Period. I mean, it's been great racing, great battles all season long. I mean, you look at both the pro and the AM class. I mean, I know the pro class ended up being points wise kind of dominated by you, Craig, but none of the races were just a walk away. I mean, you had a battle on your hands all season long, and you look at the AM class, obviously coming down to the final race and really the final few laps to decide the champion there with 3 guys separated by 1 point. I mean, racing wise, it's got to feel like a heck of a success this year.
Yeah, absolutely. We're proud of the numbers and the competition that has happened on track, and how little drama there has been compared to the amount of competition that there's been. It's a dream come true. Hopefully, we can continue it going forward into season 11.
Yeah,
so,
I would say. Sorry, I would say as long as everybody can come out here and have somebody to race against. And it really looks like that happens every race. It looks like everybody has somebody to race against. That's really the goal, right? We don't want, somebody coming out here and just walking away with it, or, just getting left behind. And I think we have a great range of skill within the league that provides that type of action no matter where you are on the grid.
Yeah, and it kind of goes to what I mentioned during the broadcast. To have a successful league, you need good drivers, you need good racing, you need very little to no drama, and you need a chance for kind of everybody at all skill levels to feel like they have a chance. And again, I feel like you guys kind of you check all the boxes, and it's why the league is such a success, and has been around for 10 seasons now, and 11 on the horizon. But before we get into talking about season 11, one thing that's been on my mind since it's getting a little bit closer here, and it'll be before season 11 starts, the CRN Cup. You guys are going to be coming out there and competing with, all the other leagues that we broadcast here for CRN, and mainly, at least on the road side. I mean, I'm sure some of the oval leagues that we have some good road guys as well. But I'm looking forward to the battle between the Core GT and the CSRL guys, just to see, where the pace is and where everybody kind of stacks up.
I'm absolutely stoked for that event, Carl. I don't know if it's your particular genius as an individual or if it's been an admin in team, but an absolute brilliant brainchild of whomever's, and I'm looking really forward to competing in that. As someone that competes in multiple disciplines on Core Racing Network, it should be an absolute hoot.
Well, I mean, between Craig and you, Jim, and even you, Colin. And that's your chance. That's your chance to talk a little smack. Obviously, I'm the broadcaster here for you guys. I'm the broadcaster for the Core GT. Who do you think's got the edge?
So
Go ahead, Jim. How you?
We handicap ourselves a little bit because we have an iRating cap. Having said that, iRating cap doesn't mean a whole ton. And Craig is as fast as they come. I am putting, and Colin as well, I'm putting these stallions against you guys any day of the week.
I'm just counting on Craig to carry us through both the oval and the so. I mean, we got basically a professional here on the oval side, so let's see us through, Craig.
I'll do the best I could do. At any event, it's for me. I have such a strong will and mind that as soon as I learn what it is, I'm just gonna. I said it in the pre-race interview to you guys. I'm gonna give it 156,000% no matter what it is. So bring it. Let's go.
Yeah, and it's not just it's of course a competition at the end of the day to see what kind of speed's out there, what kind of who can compete with who, but it's also kind of a showcase for you guys. I mean, you guys obviously have had some good numbers all year, but free advertising, free publicity to show what kind of drivers you have in your league is absolutely fantastic, and it's obviously going to help on both sides, obviously with with some of my leagues in there as well, but it's just it's nice to kind of intermingle every once in a while, and after the seasons are over, kind of everybody let their hair down and go out there and have some fun. So I'm looking forward to that. But the other thing I'm looking forward to, season 11. What do you guys got on tap for us?
Jim, that's all you.
Oh, good.
What do you want us to pull the curtains off of?
There's a family show, so let's be calm here a little bit.
It's apparently some people in our league race naked, so that's a thing that we learned tonight. But in all seriousness, and nothing's really that finalized just yet. We're gonna because of the holiday season coming up, we're going to have a little bit of a break. We're in 2 weeks we're having the Daytona race. We're in talks about putting on another race in 4 weeks, and then taking the holidays and then coming back. This isn't finalized yet either. I think we're looking at the 8th, and we're looking at an 8-race season for season 11. But that's still a bit up in the air. And as far as rules, we're still ironing things out. We put out a survey yesterday, if I'm not mistaken, and we're just getting responses in now. Anything anything that we do major, we do by committee, and we want our guys to have a say in any sort of rule changes, material rule changes that we might put forth. We put at least one survey a season to that effect as well. Yeah, we want to throw the best league for our racers that we can. That's within our abilities. We're not raising tons and tons of money or anything like that to do anything super special. But I feel like the people that are here, a lot of them have been here a long time, and a lot of them really enjoy it. And we try to be approachable as well. To that effect, I think we're doing an okay job. Not to pat ourselves on the back or anything, but we're trying.
Joe, what do you got for the boys here at CSRL before we wrap this thing up?
No, I'd say definitely go ahead and pat yourself on the back. I've said it a bunch of times, but the racing here is just unbelievable. Week in and week out, season in and season out. And I'm looking forward to next season as well. This is looks like I'm going to be out of the booth, and I may have some time to get in a couple races with you guys, which I'm going to be super excited about, and just kind of take everything that I've learned from you guys, and just watching and learning everything as I can through the booth and through the eyes and everything like that, and try to incorporate as much of that to the track as I can, and just kind of put it all together there and see what happens. But I'm really looking forward to that. I'm hoping I can get in, like I said, a couple races. We'll see what my other schedule works out to be, but really looking forward to that. So be ready to come around me on the outside.
No, we would absolutely love to have you for sure. You raced in our special event coming into this season, right? And
yeah.
I don't remember how you did, but it was fun to see you on track and talk on the radio and such. So yeah, always.
Yeah, that was a fun event. I ended up crashing out, but it was. I lasted a lot longer than I anticipated. Bathurst is a tough track. So, but I've kind of, like I think I mentioned, I've started to grow into kind of like it a little bit. So, maybe what I might need a little bit of a twisted mind to kind of get into that and kind of embrace it and see what happens.
Yeah, sounds good. So I'm going to ask a question to the other admin here. Tuesday nights, are we going to speak to that at all, or no?
We can drop that right now.
Sure, let's do it.
I'm just gonna pump one brake pedal here on that.
Okay.
Just one brake to pump here. We haven't put into terms any more details than what the car is gonna be.
Yeah. So
do we want to announce that as loud as the Star Spangled Banner here?
Well, we can say that Tuesday nights we will no longer be doing a practice session for our Wednesday nights. What we will be doing is it will be a free car and mostly free tracks. So looking at doing races on Tuesday nights as well, a little bit more lighthearted. Most likely won't have divisions for that or anything like that. Just a lighthearted free car, so it's accessible for everyone, and mostly free tracks as well. So,
and it'll be in road discipline as well.
Awesome, and it's another chance for any kind of practice. Doesn't matter if it's in the same type of car or not. Just any kind of practice getting out there gets you to learn car control. So it's definitely I'm sure going to be a benefit regardless to everybody here in CSRL, and maybe a chance to kind of grow the audience a little bit as well, and maybe even get those numbers a little bit closer. And now Joe gets to join the sessions real, and not because he screwed up. But he'll just do this. He'll do the screwing up on the track, and I'll make sure I drag him in randomly in the booth just to hear if he's screaming while he's behind the wheel.
I'll be screaming.
All right, boys, we got to wrap it up here. But I want to get some final thoughts from all three on the season here that we had on the season that's coming up here, and before we do that, I just want to thank you guys for having this opportunity for sure. But Colin, we'll go ahead and start with you.
Yeah, final thoughts. It's been an incredibly successful season 10. You know, this is only my third season with the league, but from what I can tell, the numbers are as good as they've ever been. If I have my numbers correctly, I think we've averaged 33 per race this season, which is just incredible. And that's pretty even down both divisions, AM and Pro. So that's just awesome. And we're definitely looking forward to season 11.
Craig, go ahead and switch to you.
Season 11, I'll say as much as this. I don't think any changes that we have are materially major. A lot of the same, really good, hard competition out here. I don't remember if it was Colin or Carl that mentioned how everybody has somebody to race. And that is the dream come true for any person who's got a competitive edge in them. So if that's you and you have an iRacing subscription and you happen to like GT3 cars, and have some open time on your Wednesday nights, feel free to reach out to anybody within the core or CSRL discipline. We'll be happy to have you. And I'm looking forward to season 11 and beyond, man. It's a pleasure to be a part. Colin, you've made a huge mark, not just administratively, but competitively on this league in your short time here. Jim, this is your child, and you take care of it as if it truly is your own child. Brennan, I know you're not able to chat with us here tonight, but your input, your calm rationale is always appreciated. And Rich Petrucco, I know you're getting that computer back soon, going to be out here on track with us. And we're excited to have you back in the fray after a little bit of a hiatus as well. And just so thankful to everybody that's involved in this.
Jim, final thoughts.
As a racer, this season was heartbreaking. As an administrator, it was fantastic. No, I'm very glad I'm grateful to have the people around me that I do. Everybody that Craig just listed off, including himself. You know, it's thank you for making this possible. For me to put on and keep going. I'm very glad that I took over the league and could help build it to where it is today, and hopefully build it out further going forward with the incredible help of the people around me, like Craig, Colin, Renan, and Rich, and you know, if Bill ever comes back, hopefully Bill, we'll see.
Maybe I'll get to meet Bill someday.
Yeah, Bill's a great Canadian. You'd like him. He's a good guy. Anyway, but yeah, no. And thank you guys for another incredible season. It's been fun to watch the races after the fact. I don't know that I'm going to take in this one. I'm not going to lie. But thank you.
Well, we wrapped up your season rewatching your crash after the checker flag in slow mo, and kind of said that this was kind of a recap of Jim Dutton's attempt at the championship here. So that kind of told the story for us. But yeah,
can you tell me who I took out like as they were making that turn? I feel really badly for that, even though it was Santana.
It was Santana that you took out, because we did mention that too.
Okay, cool. So yeah, I'm going to message him.
Yep.
Thanks.
Well, either way, I mean, this season has been fantastic. Still got one more to go yet. The season's not completely over for you guys, and we'll be on tap and be back up here in the booth for the team championship finale. But once again, thank you from our side here and CRN. But that is gonna do it for us here here tonight from Sebring, and for the individual points championship, congrats once again to Craig Jancic on the Pro Championship, and to brain farting all of a sudden to Anthony Jenkins for the AM Class Championship as well. It was fun watching all the battles all season for the individual championships, but we got a team championship now to decide in 2 weeks at Daytona. Thank you for tuning in here tonight. If you haven't done so yet, hit that like and subscribe and get you in touch with everything that CRN has to offer. And thank you to all our sponsors as well, 40 Racewear, Replica Racing, TTR Racing, and Martin PCs. But for myself, Joe, Jim, Craig, and Colin from Sebring, we'll see you at the track.